Welcome to the GYA podcast. I'm Caden.
I'm Emmanuel.
I'm Ezekiel.
And the GYA podcast is a tool for young adults all over to grow spiritually deep.
Yeah, we'll be talking about topics anywhere from GYA sermon recaps, community, Sabbath,
faith conversations, and small group resources.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Yo.
Come on.
Welcome back to the GYA podcast. Zeke, we got someone special here today. Introduce him real fast.
I don't know if I want to introduce him.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Nah, he's my brother, Daniel. Give it up for Daniel. It's just us.
What's up?
It's just us, yeah.
Appreciate y'all for having me, man.
Yeah.
No
For
problem.
sure.
No problem. Okay, before we even start today, I have some brother-related questions. So I want to know, Zeke, how well do you know Daniel? How well do you know him? Like, scale of 1 to 10.
Probably like a 7 or 8.
7 or 8. Okay. What's Daniel's favorite basketball team?
Oh, Spurs. Easy.
Yeah,
Is that accurate?
yeah,
Is that accurate? Okay,
Yeah.
that's accurate. Okay. Baseball team.
Oh, he doesn't watch baseball.
Yeah, it's a fact.
That's good. Video game.
COD. It would definitely be COD.
COD.
Or no, actually, it could be 2K.
Yeah, that's pretty valid. I was in my
Okay.
2K trend for a little bit.
Let's go. Favorite food dish. Ooh, there it goes.
I don't know. It's caught between two of them. It's only when my mom makes it though. It's either gumbo or it's gonna be crawfish etouffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
let's
that's
go
valid.
like
Yeah.
let's go deep back. Favorite thing about his wife.
I actually don't know. I don't know.
Everything is the answer, man. I don't have a
Corporate
single
answer.
thing.
Corporate answer. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's going to lead us into the topic today. We're going to talk about being known. So Daniel leads a small group here at Grace for GYA, and it's called Known. Daniel, would you tell us a little bit about Known?
Yeah, so our small group, because me and my wife, we lead it as well. We co-lead together. So Known, I mean, we're just trying to create a safe space for people. We know what it's like being our age and kind of like going out in the world and kind of trying to figure out, you know, how to be seen, how to be heard.
Yeah.
You know, it's not always just dealing with like anxiety or depression. Some people just deal with like not having a place to be almost, and you know, they don't deal with any of that. So what Known really is about is creating a safe space for people to come in, communicate with like-minded people, and then also be able to have like a safe space to open up as well. And so we want you to, no pun intended, we want you to feel known. We want you to feel heard. We want you to feel seen in our small group. And, you know, our small group has been good. I mean, it's been great. I mean, our first week, there were a lot of people that just opened up and had a moment of vulnerability. So, you know, that's basically the premise of the small group. Yeah.
That's so beautiful. I think the intimacy behind being known is very important, that you can't be known without the relationship.
Yeah.
You know, and I think to be known that you're known by God, but also to be known that you're known by others is very important. Zeke, would you mind reading us Psalm 139? We're going to split it up, okay?
All right.
We're going to split it up. So you take Psalm 139. Ooh. Oopsie. All right. So you take Psalm 139 verses 1 through 6.
Okay.
I'm going to read 7 through 12. You have it pulled up on your phone?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, bet. Can you take verses 13 to, let's say 18, and then I take the rest of it.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, bet.
1 through 6.
Yeah, 1 through 6.
All right. Psalm 139:1. Oh Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my lying down and are acquainted with all my ways, even before a word is on my tongue. Behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You hem me in, behind and before, and lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain it.
Where can I go from your spirit, or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend into heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall fall on me, even the night shall be light about me. Indeed, the darkness shall not hide from you, but the night shines as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to you.
Yeah.
For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. How precious to me are your thoughts, God. How vast is the sum of them. Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. When I awake, I am still with you.
Oh, that you would slay the wicked, O God. Depart from me, therefore, you bloodthirsty men. For they speak against you wickedly. Your enemies take your name in vain. Do I not hate them? O Lord, who hate you? And do I not loathe those who rise up against you? I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them my enemies. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxieties, and see if there's any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. This is such a beautiful psalm. It's one of my favorite psalms as well. I always include Psalm 23:24 in my daily prayers because I think it's such a powerful prayer to search me, God, know my heart, try me and know my anxieties. That's the intimacy behind who God truly is and who God wants to be. He yearns to have a relationship with us. And I'm gonna kick Zeke off with the first question today.
All right.
What does it feel like to be known by the Creator?
Great.
One word answer? Is that it?
We're done. Wrap up. Wrap
All right,
it
y'all,
up.
podcast over.
No, I mean, it's, I don't really know the words to explain it, but I guess that's just like how it is to be known by him. Just because, like, bro, everything that has been given to you, everything that you have been through life, he's just kind of seen you and known you from there. And from like beginning, he knows exactly what you're gonna do. And so it's just this love that he has for us.
Yeah.
Like just to know, to be fully known by him. And that's what it's like. That's what it's about. It's like, cause there's this time where, you know, I was, you know, walking with Christ and I was just deepening my relationship with God, that it was very, at one point, very hard to like kind of just see him as father and just see him as like creator and more, I was seeing him more as I guess you could say Lord and God, in which we should be, but we can also see him as father and how he loves us. And so then there was this moment where, you know, I'm actually now starting to like kind of just soak in his presence, that it's like, dang, this is what it means to be fully known by God, just to sit here and just sit with him, you know? And like, I can't name anyone that's closest to me that knows me as much as he does and intimately as much as he does. And so it's just, it's a beautiful thing to be known by the Creator, knowing that he created this like huge population with on the earth and then the whole universe. And then to be fully known by him still is mind blowing to me.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
What about you, Daniel?
Man, I think just it's funny, like when we get to the realization that we are known by God, and God is like known us even before we were thought. And I kind of think sometimes we think like because God can search through us through like anything, like there's no lie you can tell to him, like he knows your heart already. And some people, especially like when you're younger and you're trying to like figure it all out, like you think of it kind of like a parenthood, like it's surveillance. But in reality, it's really God showing intimacy with you. Like he wants to be there every step of the way. He wants you to depend on him. He wants you to walk with him. And honestly, when you get to the realization of feeling known, it's like beautiful. It's amazing to know that someone has walked with you every step of the way, and like you have never heard their footsteps until recently. And every version of you that God has seen, like he has seen, like he didn't just like whiff past it or anything. You might think, oh, like I can hide these years where I wasn't walking the way I should walk, or these moments where you were really low and you think this is the worst of you. But God's like saying, no, I've seen all that already. And it all leads you here back to me. Like it always was going to lead you to me. And so what it means to feel really known by God is really feeling like encompassed, feeling loved and feeling like almost like a hug. Like when you go to your parents, you kind of you get a hug and you feel like encompassed with love, you feel encompassed with warmth. And that's what I feel like being known by God is. It's feeling like this encompass of warmth and love that you can't really experience anywhere else.
Yeah, that's so good. Some of the things I've written down here from the first part of the Psalms, Psalms 139, was God knows your thoughts before you think of them.
Yeah.
So even before you think the next thought that you're about to have, He already knows it. Yeah. And it's funny to me that it's like whatever I'm about to say right now, God already knows I was gonna say it.
Yeah.
Like this podcast is pointless to Him in a sense. Not really. He knows your words before you speak them. And He also knows your actions and your decisions before you make them. And I think it's beautiful because you can't pretend with God. He already knows who you are on the inside. He already knows everything about you, how many hairs on your head. And it's very beautiful to just think about that. And as I read the Psalm from time and time again, like it's just like no matter where I go, God is there. Whether it's in private, God's there. In public, God's there. Far away from Him, God's there. It's like you turn around, you're just like you've been there. And I think sometimes like when we gave our life to Christ for the first time, it's like all you had to do was turn around, and He was there. Like it wasn't like you were deep into sin and He wasn't there. No, you were deep into sin, and He was right there. Going for you, the one that left the 99. And I find that very beautiful.
He's always within arm's reach, which is amazing.
That's so good. Okay, Daniel.
What's up?
How do you get out of a slump? So say for the person that feels like they're in a slump and they feel like they're hidden from God, how can you get out that slump? And what are some practical ways and practical uses that we could apply this to our day-to-day lives?
Okay. So like, I guess when you mean slump, like you just like, I guess what I'm trying to guess is like you're just in a slump in your life, or you're in a slump of a relationship with God, or
so you're in a slump with a relationship with God. Like you're busy. You're a young adult, so like you're probably busy. You're working a 9 to 5. You're or you're falling back into sin, or like how do we get out the slump, and how do we feel like we're not hidden from God or try to be hidden?
I think one is coming to the realization like you can't really hide from Him anyways. You know, you can't outrun His presence. You can't outrun His steps because He's already ahead of you. He's before you. He's behind you. He's beside you. Like there's nowhere you can outrun God. The only thing you're doing is kind of closing the blinds in your eyes and in your heart and spirit to Him. And so really it's just, and I always, because I've had this conversation with people before, and it's really just like, you have to rejuvenate yourself. Like sometimes, and like for both instances, like, you know, sometimes you can just hit a slump because, you know, you're feeling stagnant, but then sometimes you can hit a slump because you're falling back into sin. And for when I tell people, I'm like, it's kind of like a battery, and now your battery is requiring more juice than when you first came in. And so now you have to kind of overcharge yourself more than you did before. And so you have to rejuvenate yourself. And so that, what does that look like? I mean, surround yourself with like-minded people, of course. I think when you fall in those slumps, trying to get out of it yourself, sometimes it could work, but I've seen more times than not when you go to someone and tell them, hey, like I'm in this kind of spot right now. Can you pray for me? Or can you like, you know, let's go grab coffee, or like whatever that may look like. Surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded, who have gone through a slump just like you, or surrounding yourself with like mentors or like Christ-like mentors. Surround yourself with them and get the wisdom from that. But that means also like you have to maintain the discipline to be able to say, I'm in this slump, I need to go read my word. Or, you know, pray, or actually just like send a prayer, like pray to God and ask like, hey, God, can you restore me to where I was before, or even more? I think that's kind of, especially like with younger people, like people our age, they get in a slump and they sit there. And sometimes you gotta move around. You gotta step out a little bit more. You have to kind of like when you first met God, your bubble was this small.
Yeah.
Now that you truly know him and you know he sees you and knows you every step of the way, now you have to extend your bubble even more.
Yeah.
So you don't feel enclosed. And so really it's I mean, I wrote it down a little bit. I mean, when life feels low, when it feels dark or whatnot, it's not dark to him. And I think that's kind of the realization you have to come to, like, you're never unseen, even in your worst moments, even in your slump moments. Yeah. And so just knowing that whether you have a physical person to depend on, even if you don't, you still have but you still have an omnipresent Father that you can depend on, even in those moments of slump that I have seen be able to pull people out of the deepest waters.
Yeah.
And so it's just really maintaining like what you've done before and excelling in it even more now.
Yeah. Wait, you got some? Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I think, it's very easy when we're talking about just kind of sin. It's very easy when like it does happen, you fall into this like huge slump and it's just like, dang, like I messed up, I did this and stuff like that. And our natural tendency is to just keep running and hiding from him. And like that's our flesh, like really just taking over and just trying to hide and get away from God, like get as far away as possible. But what our spirit, what the Lord wants us to do is that when we're falling, like we need to run back to him. Like I think of David, and when he sinned with Bathsheba, and Nathan comes to him, and he's just like bro, like you sinned. He didn't say it like that, but like he basically like rebuked him and was like, you sinned and this and that. And what was his first reaction that he did? He went and he prayed and he fasted. Right. And so that's exactly what like David loved the Lord so much that his natural tendency wasn't to hide, but to actually go to God. And so that's how our relationship with God should be, is when we're falling short, or even when we're just in a slump, like our natural tendency should be to seek God even more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what the enemy wants us to do is completely separate ourselves from God. But we're reading this book, The Awe of God, right? And it's really like eye-opening, like, and you really do feel this. Like sometimes I'm not perfect, so I'll miss a day where I don't like spend time with God, or like I won't read my word or something like that. And man, like it crushes me, like it crushes you, because you're like, this is something that like I want to do, like I want to love to do and everything. And so when you miss those days, it's like, man. And so how do you get out of that slump is don't listen to the fleshly desire where you're running from God, but listen to what the Holy Spirit is speaking to you and run to God. Because our natural tendency should be reversed now that we're followers of Christ, where we should be running to him and not from him. And so to get out of that slump is maybe you need a fast, and maybe you just need to be around people, because like isolation is the enemy's playground. And so when you're in that slump, don't isolate yourself.
Absolutely.
And so for me, I started to love being around people, because like they helped me just further my relationship with God and deepen my relationship with God. And like we're sharpening each other and we're doing all these things together. So it's like, it's very easy to just like want to be around people now, because these people are actually followers of Christ who actually will lead me back into the right direction when I do feel that slump. So
I kind of want to, like, as I was thinking about this, I was thinking about Adam and Eve. So I went back to the very beginning, where they were trying to be hidden from God. They ate from the tree that wasn't supposed to eat from. And when God came back, where are you, Adam? And he was hiding. See, I want to introduce this idea, especially to like new believers, of what is like known, like to be known by God. Like what's the feeling of being known by God? And God's always searching after our hearts. Like Scripture says that he's the same God yesterday, same God today, and the same God tomorrow. So he's the same God forever, essentially. And he's yearning to be with his people, an intimate relationship with his people. And before Adam and Eve ate this fruit, There was no guilt. There was no insecurity. There was no fear, or there was no comparison.
There was no
between
knowledge.
Yeah, there was no knowledge. There wasn't any knowledge of this.
Yeah.
They were both fully known by each other and fully known by God.
Yeah.
Before this happens. So then we get introduced to this thing called sin.
Yeah.
Which separates us from God.
Yeah.
So I think you got to have a basic understanding of what sin is to know that you're already separated from God, that you have to get a deeper relationship with God.
sure.
And I don't want to touch on too much of the other religions, but the thing about Christianity, which doesn't make it more of a religion, makes it more of a relationship, is that God wants to know you. You have to want to know God as well.
Yeah,
and it's a relationship, just like with anybody. Like, I'm gonna take you and Taylor for example. Like, to get to know each other, you have to have conversations.
Absolutely, yeah.
You have to talk with each other. You have to, wrestle with some things, wrestle with differences. The only thing with God is you can't wrestle the differences. You can't wrestle with that. What God says remains true time and time again. And then after in Genesis 3:7, it says, then both of their eyes were open, and they realized they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together. See, after they ate, the first reaction they had was covering themselves, trying to hide from God, trying to hide from their shame and their sin. They felt afraid. I said that shame makes us hide. God calls us out of hiding, though. God will always call us out of hiding. And even then, in Genesis 3:9, God asked, where are you? That shows that God still pursues them.
Yeah, for sure.
Regardless. God created everything to be good. God created everything to be in his image. So no matter where we go, God is there. He's like, you realize I created you, right? I guess this is very simple. You realize I created you, right? I created you to be good. I created you to uplift my name. I created you to be in awe of me. You're my creation and you're good. So no matter how much sin you're stained with, you're still mine.
Absolutely.
And I still know you, and I still want to get to know you. And I just find that the whole story like beautiful, because this is like, God literally gave her one instruction. Don't eat from this tree, okay? You can have anything else you want, just don't eat from this tree. And it's just like, it's kind of funny because it's like, I gave you one command, obey it. The only command that they didn't obey was that one command. And even though they did that, God's response was love. And this being known by God is so important with your walk with Christ.
Absolutely,
Because there's no walk with him if you're not known. So with the next question being, when do you feel closest to God and when do you feel furthest away from God? We're gonna start with Zeke first on this one.
I mean, I would say outside of the prayer room, like my personal room where I like just spend time with God. I think where I feel closest to God is actually on Tuesday nights, which is kind of funny. But I think it's
pull up.
Pull up, shameless plug, or a small group, or a church on Sundays. See you there.
We got 9 a.m. 11 a.m.
click the
2
QR
p.m. in
code.
Espanol.
QR code should be popping up right now.
Somewhere over there.
Yeah, but I think it's on Tuesday nights because I'm with, you're with the congregation and you're all together worshiping God. And so like, when you're just walking around and like kind of, I guess there was this one night where it was a worship night actually. And I was walking around and just like kind of feeling the room. And like, I just felt like this brokenness. And like, this is when you feel closest to the Lord or for me, I feel closest to the Lord because I'm sensitive to his Holy Spirit. And so I'm able to feel things that other people are able to feel or are feeling. And so the Lord has been like speaking to me within those moments where I'm just walking around and kind of just showing me this is what these people feel. And that to me is like showing like, dang, like the Lord has allowed me to be able to be close to him, to be able to do these things and to be able to actually pray in a way that like not everybody else is able to feel, if that makes sense. And so I do feel closest to him when I'm actually like kind of I guess, doing ministry. And because I just know he's with me while I'm doing it. And there's no way that I can be able to do this without him. And in fact, John 15 tells us that apart from me, you can do nothing. And so that has been my daily prayer, is like acknowledging that I can do nothing without him. And apart from him, I have no good thing. And so, yeah.
That's good. What about you, Daniel?
Honestly, kind of similar. I think I do feel closest to him though when I have a moment of being able to just like worship him, and you can worship him anywhere. So like anytime I have the sense of being able to like throw worship music on or just like really just sit in the presence and allow him to come to me, I think that's always usually when I feel the closest to him, whether like that's in the church or that's in my house. Like for me, I always feel closest when I leave a door open for him. And I think like internally, and I guess what I mean by like leaving a door open, I mean, you're leaving a door open in your heart for him to come through and be able to like sit with you. So yeah, for me, that looks like, you know, in church, surrounded by like-minded people, or even at home, allowing myself to really just sit in the presence. And it is a like surreal feeling every time you do feel the presence of God surround you. Like it's always new. It's always like fresh. It's almost like drinking. It's like when you wake up in the middle of the night and you drink like an ice cold water. That's kind of like the best way to explain it is like it's refreshing, but it's refreshing to a point like you wouldn't feel this any other way throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like you can go drink water throughout the day randomly, but it's not going to feel like you did when you woke up at like 1 a.m. in the morning drinking a fresh cold water. That's kind of how I explain it. And so, and that's always around like worshiping. Like, even when I was driving here, like I threw in, I don't have a sound system in our truck. So like I put my one AirPod in and I like throw worship music on, but like I'm able to sit there and like really just wait for the Holy Spirit to touch me, like touch my shoulder, touch me in some way that I can open myself up again. And doing that in the morning, honestly, sets the tone for the entire day.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's when I feel closest to God feel closest to God is when I'm in those moments of worship.
Yeah, that's really good. I'll say like a practical use of trying to become closer to God is the fruit of the Spirit. So Galatians 5:22-23 says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law." And these are all characteristics that describe God.
Absolutely.
That describe him perfectly. And I think the more we become like these characteristics, the closer we get in intimacy with God.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because we become more like the image that he thinks of when he sees us. No matter what you go through, no matter which your past says you are, no matter who your ex says you are, that doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
Why are you pointing at me, bro?
Oh man, bro, I'll be doing accident looking.
I got no exes. I just got a wife. That's all right.
That's good. That's good.
This man pointed straight at me and said,
It was a gesture. This was a gesture.
That's funny.
No, I'm joking. I hope they're watching this on YouTube because they wouldn't get it. Okay, but yeah, the more like him we become, the more intimate we can become with him. When we become, loving by ourselves. And I just recently I had a small group. It was a worship night, and I kind of talked about the Garden of Gethsemane, and I talked about the suffering that took place in private with Jesus. It was just Jesus and God, and he was praying and looking up, and he was saying, "God, take this cup from me," but he was like, "If it's your will, I'll do it." And I really think that the suffering that happens in private, it ended up leading it to a public crucifixion.
Absolutely.
And I think the same works for most things in our life. What we do in private is what we do in public.
Absolutely.
And it's hard to cover what you do in private in public. How do you know a person? Well, you know them by their fruits. You test their fruits.
Yeah.
So if you're not developing fruits in private, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna have any fruits in public. And it's gonna be apparent. You can only fake certain things for so long.
Yeah.
You can't fake joy.
Yeah.
You can't fake peace.
Yeah, like I was it was like last month I was at the Humanitarian Awards and CJ Stroud was there and like they were accepting like an award for like the Stroud Foundation, I believe. And that's something he talked about. It was like one of those things he said you know, he was like, I love God. I love everything he's blessed me with. But I think the thing that he's blessed me with the most is the ability to suffer. He's like, because suffering is such a key pivotal point in your walk with God. He's like, because if we don't suffer, then like, how can we truly depend on him? And he was like, so sometimes we do have to walk through the suffering and walk through the temptation of everything. And so like, just piggybacking off of like, you talk about suffering. I think suffering is literally a key point. Now I'm not saying like, I want you to suffer or anything like that, but I do think because we're human, we are bound to end up having some point of a sufferance, like having some point of a low or down, because if everything was perfect in our life, then how could we depend on God like we really need to? Like, I remember there's a saying, I don't have the words right off the top of my head, but basically someone said like, if everything was going right in my life, then you truly wouldn't need God. And if God gave you everything, then you wouldn't need him. And that's kind of like, I think the point of suffering goes into is like, you have to feel some point of heartbreak to know that God can restore you. He has to allow you to go through this to let you grow. And it always just like, it always leads back to him at the end of the day. And so, I was just piggybacking off of your point.
Even go off of that. I mean, James instructs us, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. And to be honest, it's a blessing to suffer. You know God more intimately. You work things out. And the testing, it says the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Absolutely, that means the next time that situation comes around again, you know exactly what to do. And you can testify to his goodness with somebody else as well.
Absolutely,
And I think a lot of times, I've said this like 2 or 3 times in the last week. A lot of times we look for a God who prevents instead of a God who's present.
That's good.
We replace the V, or replace the S with the V. And we say, God, don't let this happen to us. And instead of saying, God, be present with me through this. Show me what you would do. Show me and everybody says this famous saying, WWJD. What would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? Like literally, ask yourself in the moment, in the suffering, what would Jesus do? Would he pray first? Would he put hands to something? Like, what would he do in the moment of your suffering, of your financial situation, of your relationship? Like, what can God do, and that only he can do?
I think that also can like go down to tweaking what you're praying for. Because there are times where you can be selfish in your prayer as well, and like you don't even know it. Like I've had to learn that myself, which is I have to tweak my prayer not for what I want, and I have to really go in, because there are times where like before where I would pray and I'd be like, maybe I shouldn't say this word, because if I say this word, God's going to actually like follow through with it. Like some people don't want to pray for patience because they know if you pray for patience, God's going to make you wait. He's going to test you in that because you're praying for it. Just like anytime I pray now, I always start it off with, if it is your will, then like let it be done. And I think that's kind of like where it differs. Like, if you tweak what you're really praying for, then it will really showcase like what God can truly do. And even in our last small group, Alexis was there as well. Like we talked about like,
shout out Alexis,
trying not to put God in a box. I think when because the world already tries to put them in a box. So your prayer shouldn't try to do that as well. Your prayer is supposed to be so like not out there, but it's supposed to be something that a miracle worker can only do.
Yeah.
And I think like in today's age, we do kind of like have that box, and it's our own mental box as well. It's not like it's something like we purposely do. It's just like because of what we know, we only know what we know, and we can only put it in the parameters and boundaries we have.
Yeah. And the Holy Spirit can't be contained.
Exactly.
You can't put him in a box.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You can't say, nope, you only work at church. Nope, you're not going with me anywhere else. Nope, you can't meet me. Like, who are we to say that the Holy Spirit, that Jesus can't work miracles?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That our asking is too big.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe too big for our simple human minds. Way too big. But there's a God who knows all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I was gonna speak on like suffering because it's very easy for us to speak on it because like we've all been through suffering, but for everyone that's like watching and is actually suffering right now, it's kind of like they're just kind of like, man, like it's so easy for them to talk about it, but I'm suffering right now with like this and that, and so it's like I feel that because I've been there questioning like, dang, this suffering sucks.
Yeah.
Like it's
does,
horrible.
yeah.
And like, it's just like, it's very easy for people to say and to listen and be like, yeah, it gets better and this and that and stuff. But it's like when you're going through it, like sometimes you just don't want to hear that. Like, because you like, it just sucks. And so there was a pastor I was talking to when I was actually going through it he kind of told me like, you've experienced this joy with Jesus and you've experienced like just being around him and everything. And now you're experiencing the suffering of being with Jesus. Yeah. And so it's like, you're taking two parts now. And now like, you're kind of, I guess, feeling both parts because now you're joyful, now you're suffering. So how do I get back to this joyful part? And it's just like, you keep pushing it and you keep fighting because the enemy wants you to give up. Yeah. He wants you to just keep laying there. And like what I said was your natural tendency is just to keep running from God, but switch that natural tendency and like actually what David did was encourage himself in the Lord, right? Yeah. And so we have to encourage ourselves in the Lord, even when one day feels better than the other. And sometimes it feels like one step forward and two steps back or three steps back, but you're still moving forward in a way. So just keep going and keep striving and running towards the Lord because he's never going to fail you. There's like what you're talking about in the Garden of Gethsemane when the Lord is suffering. And I'm thinking about this part where Pastor said that the reason that it's crazy because when you think about it, the reason like the Lord is kind of sweating blood and having so much like, I guess, what's the word? Stress. He's sweating blood from stress and everything. And it's because the reason why he was sweating blood was because he was a perfect man who was about to come in contact with sin. And that is like mind blowing to me. And so it's like the Lord has wept, and it's great to know that the Lord has felt the things we have felt. And that's, I guess, what we can tie it back to is just like, this is what it means to be fully known by God, because the Lord has went through the same suffering and the same temptations that we had. And so we can trust in him in a way. And so for the people that are just like suffering right now, it's like, just keep going and trust in the Lord. The Lord has been through a lot, the Lord has been through what you've been through. And so you can trust that he's faithful, that he'll never leave you. Take it from us three that have been through suffering. Like we've made it out on the other side. And now we're able to know that the Lord has been with us through it. And what you said, that we're praying we sometimes pray for preventing instead of
being present.
And so, let the Lord sit with you in this and just learn within your suffering. Sometimes there's a lesson to be learned. And so
I would even say, like Jesus in the garden was wrestling with these things. Like he was wrestling versus the flesh of like, God, I don't want this cup. God, I don't no, it's your will. You know, like if this your will, so be it.
Absolutely.
Like God, you said it's gonna be written.
Yeah.
And you said that I have to do this and I will do this because you are Lord of all things.
Yeah.
So no matter what, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I think when you begin to wrestle with things, it is not just the same with sufferings, it's the same with just things that you gotta get rid of in your life.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
I call them like, olives, because the Garden of Gethsemane literally means olive press.
Yeah.
So I call them like little olives. Like olives are very hard. Olives need to be crushed.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have little olives, big olives that need to be crushed.
Yeah.
And it's a process, but you got to wrestle with that. You got to wrestle with your fleshly desires, and then you got to wrestle with God's will. And you got to say, at the end of the day, God's will is more important than what I crave on this earth.
Yep.
And Jesus wrestled until God's will won. That means we have to wrestle until God's will wins. And like we said earlier, God's the same yesterday, the same today, and the same tomorrow.
Yeah.
So he's the same forever. That means he's still trying to reach out to you. He's still trying to get to know you.
Yeah.
And it's so, like, to me, it's so warming that there's a God who wants to be with you.
Yeah.
There's a God that wants to be present with you, who steeps down with you, who gets on the knee and talks to you. You know, there's a God is craving the intimacy. And it's been the same all throughout Scripture.
Yeah.
And he's been the same in your whole entire life.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just got to open our eyes to it. Before we leave, though, I want to ask some questions. This is like for me, like, it's like a fun little part. This is mainly for me, y'all. What was it like growing up with each other? Like, I just have to know. You gonna speak first, Zeke?
You can go first.
Well, I was born first, so like I can go first.
Older brother type.
Honestly, though, I mean, we lived in like we shared the same room for like almost 17, 18 years.
That sucks for you.
So yeah,
No, I'm joking.
right.
I'm joking.
So you're not talking. But we had to like
I was suffering.
I went through it, trust.
we got to know each other really well though. Like I mean we had a single mom, and like it was just us two. And like our older brother went to go live with our dad for like his like middle school to high school. And so it was really just us two, like really just kind of like, honestly, we fought a lot. Like that, not like for real, like we fought a lot. Like it was just, you know, we were both angry at things, I guess, in the world, and we were both young too. And so, and we're only like 2 years apart. So we relate on a lot of things already, on top of having to be in the same room every day. So like, yeah, I mean, we had bunk beds.
Who's on the bottom bunk?
He was always on the bottom bunk. Yeah, he was a bottom bunk. He was too scared to go up the ladder.
Is this true? You had tested this?
Bro, that bunk bed was squeaking all the time.
You know, it was crazy because like we had a wooden bunk bed at first, and that was way more dangerous.
Yeah.
Like it was like the ladder had to hook on to the actual bed, like it wasn't screwed on.
You start hearing little cracks when you step up.
And then like some of the bed frame was like broken, so there's like 3 frames at the bottom that hold the mattress together. One of those broke, so it's like caving in too. So then we got it replaced to like a metal one. And it was like better, but it still squeaked.
It was squeaking and wobbling.
Yeah, it was like wobbling and everything. But no, like growing up together, I mean, it was definitely like a highlight of my life because, you know, I was like but I was an older brother. I was able to like really see him grow up from, you know, beginning to now. Like, like y'all don't realize he's like very more chill now than like when we grew up. Cause he used to like spaz out a lot, like a lot, bro. But
only God can heal him.
Yeah, like, you know, this is one of those miracles they talk about. Yeah, like, all right.
This is the healing of wisdom.
Right.
They bring you back the life of Lazarus.
But it's actually really a blessing to like be able to see like someone really grow. Like he's seen me, you know, at my lowest points, like my lowest points. Yeah. Like things like that, you know, I've shared it on like my testimony before, but he was there, like he saw it, like the worst parts of it. And then he saw me like get married and everything. Like he was part of like every step. So like growing up together, it was very it was fun. It was We got to do everything together. Like we were literally two peas in a pod. Like if you would look at some of our old pictures, majority of all our old pictures, it was both of us together.
Yeah.
Like we did choir together in church.
Sing.
No, I'm not doing that right now. But we did choir together. We ushered together. We went to like same elementary school and everything. Like we would walk home together. Like we did literally everything together. We even shared clothes because there was a time period where we wore the same size.
Yeah.
And so growing up, like with the both of us, it was definitely like, it was fun. A lot of memories were made. A lot of like highlight moments, very low light moments, but I mean they were definitely like, you know, the best parts of life.
Yeah.
What about you, Zeke?
If
you remember opposite story, then something's not lining up.
Well, no. It's like it's almost similar, like just kind of, you know, the highs and lows of just the memories and stuff like that, and him seeing me at my lowest points, and then me seeing him at his lowest points, and then just kind of seeing where we are now. Is just truly a turnaround and could be explained none other by the transformation that God has put us through. And so, I mean, there's a lot of arguing, a lot of fights, and then there was a lot of like, I guess, isolation and not really knowing how to like talk to each other and stuff like that. But then, well, I just kind of knew that even though like, you know, because you spazzed out too, so let's not think that I was the only one.
No. So like he spazzed out in the house. I spazzed out outside of the house more. Like I got suspended from school multiple times and everything. Like
nah,
y'all twins? Nah, because it's.
But yeah, I mean, it's like
fun fact. Hold on, I have to put in there. His eye was like the target of his entire life, bro.
Gosh.
He got hit in the eye so much.
I think it was
I thought his left eye would go out at some point. Like there was times. Okay, to be fair, I was always involved in it, but like
he said, "Yeah, I did throw the football." He did.
But there were times like he legit got hit in the eye. Like there was one time I closed the door and his eye like ran into the doorknob, or like we were golfing, like mini golfing, and like the back of the club wasn't like fully wrapped in like the covering, and so the metal part stuck out, and I like shuck it backwards, and his eye was right there, and so he got hit so many times in his eye. I was like, bro, I don't understand, like
how many fingers?
CPS was actually called on my mom, which is kind of crazy because, you know, like I would go to school and they always see me with the black eye.
Bro, it was bad. Like honestly, I didn't know that until I got older, that like CPS really did get called, and it was all my fault.
But can you imagine, like, you know, telling the CPS now he just runs into things all the time? Like that's how he gets his black.
The worst part is though, he was very clumsy as a kid though, so this was not a lie.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I mean, it was great. I mean, even though we got into fights a lot, like I knew that he always loved me and like wanted the best for me. There's times like my mom would find out, like this is when I was in high school, so this is like I guess you could say before Christ. And so, well, before we both like found the Lord. Yeah. And so there was times where I would like do things that I wasn't supposed to be doing, and I would tell my brother, and then my mom finds out. I'm like, how'd she find out? And it's like, because my brother told her, because Daniel didn't want me to be in the same things that he was doing. Yeah. And so it was like, it was always love there. But also just like, you know, we're so close now because we're able to actually like live together in the same room and everything. And there's, and now we actually talk things out instead of actually like
we do talk
fighting.
A lot of things out.
But yeah, I mean, it's just brothers, how brothers usually live together. So
I mean, that's so beautiful because I feel like that literally ties in what we talked about all episode, being known. Like fighting and wrestling, like you have to fight and wrestle with these ideas.
What the crazy thing is, I didn't know this until like the day of my wedding. Like, I mean, so I started coming to YA like probably around 2020, 2021. Like Pastor Ray found me and was really like trying to bring me in. And I was like in and out. Like I was still like, I would come to church, while out, come back. Like I would do a bunch of other stuff. But then like one day, I mean, I don't even know what it was. I think he had mentioned to me he was like going to YA, and never did I ever know, because we lived together before I like moved out, and this was when I started going to YA a little bit more too. Like I would just like hurry up, come home right after work, and get dressed and like say I'm going to church. I didn't know that like he was paying attention to that or anything like that.
But he actually invited me to a service. Yeah. But I was just like, nah, like I'm trying to play 2K. Like,
yeah, I actually invited him. I didn't even remember that, but like the day of my wedding, like all our siblings like gave a speech, and he had mentioned, he was like, you know, all it does take is like an invite. He was like, you know, I started coming because my brother started going. My brother started inviting me, and like that like hit me because I didn't know that, like, and we just happened. It's so crazy. For like the first year, no one knew we were brothers here, like at all. Like I would be like, hey, like where's my brother? And they're like, who's your brother? And I'm like, EJ. And they're like, who? And I'm like, EJ. And I'm like, they're like, bro, who is that? And I'm like, Ezekiel. And they're like, are you talking about Zeke? I was like, don't nobody call him that at home. And yeah, like I was so confused. And so now my wife calls him ZJ for fun.
That one's not sticking ever.
ZJ.
That one's not sticking.
But yeah, it's just crazy like how we live together so much, and then like I move out, we spend some time apart, and yet somehow we end up at the same place still. Like, and it's nothing but God. I mean, I there's no other way to explain it. It's just crazy how you live with someone so much, and then like you deviate for a little bit and you still find the same place to call home.
Yeah, I find that all very beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on today.
But
before we dip though,
we got some shout outs.
We got small group shout outs because you know this is a small group podcast kind of. It's all used as a tool. Zeke, do you want to go first with this? I got a couple right here. I got two.
Okay.
You got one. You have one by chance?
I do have a small group, man.
You go first. You go first.
So I want to shout out, obviously mine.
Known, join known.
Yeah, join known. We every second and fourth of the month, so basically every other week. And it's on a Saturdays. It's at our house. We host it at our house. So if you want to just have real conversations, just with like-minded people, pull up. I do want to shout out Firm Foundation. It's led by Austin and Bethany, which is really meant for like couples who are really trying to take that next step. I think it's really good to get involved in that as well. And I mean, that's
shout out to them.
Yeah. You say one and then I'm gonna say one. You say the last one.
Okay, bet. I'm gonna shout out Apologio.
Oh yes,
Apologios first. I'm in the group meme.
Yeah.
Josh is my boy, and it's pretty much just a beginner intro to apologetics. It's very simple, and he has such a great community of people. They don't just do Bible studies. They go out. They go dancing. They go roller skating. They do everything. They go to the beach. They go to coffee shops. Like I'm like, they really doing life together, and it's the community that he built, and it's so beautiful to see and watch. And I was like, this dude's such a great leader, and he's right man to do it. So that's my first shout out.
All right, my shout out is going to be We Dig Jesus. That one for sure. Like,
are you good at volleyball?
Okay.
No,
the last time we played, so the recording, hold on. The recording of this podcast is on Monday. And so last night, which was on Sunday, we played, and I was doing so bad. And normally I'm not that bad.
Let me tell you so. Everybody was playing bad.
Yeah. And but it was just more like we were having fun. We weren't really playing competitive because a lot of the people that, I guess we could say our group, like we brought our group and then We Dig Jesus had their own group. And so like we usually play on Thursdays, but so we were playing on Sundays. And so we were just like kind of laughing and just like having a good time. And so this day I was horrible, but usually I would say I'm decent. I'm not super good.
That just means he's not good, bro.
No, because I would definitely school you in volleyball. Okay.
All right, back to We Dig Jesus.
No, but We Dig Jesus. Like Alexandra, right?
Yeah.
She's doing a phenomenal job just leading that small group. I heard that they play for like 3 hours. So from like 5 to 8 they play. And then the last hour, which is 8 to 9, they actually do Devo and stuff like that.
That's fire.
And so I pulled up on Sunday. huge group. Like I'm talking like they had to. So they go to a park that's public, and so you usually have like 3 courts being used. They have the middle court being used, but if you really expanded the whole group, they were able to use 3 courts, but we just couldn't that day, or she couldn't that day, just because it's public. So, I mean, it's big. It's a great small group. Like everyone, when I put up, everyone just kind of seemed to know each other and like really vibe with each other. And so that just comes from her leadership and really just trying to connect with people. And then she's also bringing Devo. So she's allowing people to come in. And what's crazy to me is that people would play 3 hours of volleyball straight and then do a whole hour of Devo. That's like
that's dedication.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be able to like,
bro, I got spiked with a ball and now I gotta like.
Exactly.
Like, bro, I just had the worst game of my life. You told me I got read.
I lost all day and I gotta have Devo. Like, no, but that just takes some like true dedication, and that shows the heart of the people that are in the small groups. Excuse me, I just spit all over. Yeah, that just shows her leadership.
Yeah.
So it's really a big shout out to her.
Yeah. I also want to add on to that though.
Yeah.
Like I came like at the end of it. I think they were near the end of the Devo, and like usually like I've been to like other small groups, like not within like Grace Church and other places, and we're honestly honored to have like the leaders that we do have.
Yeah.
I've been to other small groups where people they're having like a Bible study apparently, but everybody's doing their own thing, and like the leader's talking and somebody's texting, somebody's like on the phone. Like granted, like that day could have been a bad day.
Yeah.
But when I went yesterday, the people that attended were very like, they were just locked in and focused.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it all starts at the top.
Yeah.
Like of who the leader actually is.
For sure.
Like, are you a leader worth following? Are you a leader worth paying attention to?
Absolutely.
And like, she's such a great leader that everybody there is literally eyes locked in, reading scripture. And I think it's very beautiful. The last small group we got of shout outs, we have 26 small groups. Not the last small group. Gather and create.
Shout out Tommy.
Yeah, shout out Tommy.
No, wrong. That's craft and create.
Oh.
That's craft and
Never
create.
mind.
Gather
I'll
and create.
I'll
Yeah, don't shout out Tommy.
I'll
Don't
take it
Tommy.
back.
Don't Tommy
It's
shout
not a
outs.
shout out. My
No
bad.
Tommy shout outs.
We'll bleep that out.
Yeah, no more Tommy shout outs. Gather and create and create is GYA. So she's an intern. Yeah, she's an intern.
Yeah.
All women small group. She's a great leader. She's always asking questions. She's always, wrestling with other with the topics and getting herself to be better.
Yeah.
And we love you, GYA.
Shout out Gia.
Shout out to you.
Not shout out Tommy. Not
take
yet.
that one back.
Not yet. Shout out to Tommy still.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a pleasure, y'all. We see y'all next week.
See ya.
Thanks for watching this episode. Make sure you join our small group if you're not in one already. And if you are in one, invite a couple of people. Stay tuned. New episodes every Friday at 12 p.m. Love y'all.